I am Vetriselvi, Assistant Professor of Commerce. Today I am going to deliver Introduction to International Trade. First, we have to know the meaning of international trade. Buying and selling of goods and services is known as trade. That trade is divided into two categories. First one is home trade, second one is international trade. Home trade is otherwise known as domestic trade. International trade is otherwise known as external trade. What is home trade? The trade within the country is known as home trade. What is international trade? The transactions between different countries is known as international trade. First, we are going to know about meaning of international trade. International trade is a trade between two or more countries. It is the purchase, sale or exchange of goods and services across national borders. International trade is trade between two or more countries. Next one is definition. Definition of international trade. According to Wasserman and Haltman, international trade consists of transactions between residents of different countries. Next one is classification of international trade. Export trade, import trade, and the third one is interport trade. Next topic is features of international trade. Features means characteristics of international trade. First feature of international trade is immobility of factors. Every production needs factor of production, labor and capital. Here international trade, there is no mobility of factors of production. Various rules and regulation relating to the mobility of labors. Second one is heterogeneous market. Another feature of international trade is heterogeneous market. The trade between different countries is followed in international trade. We have to follow the different cultures, political rules, customers' expectation, etc. Next one is different political units. Next feature of international trade is different political units. International trade is taken place between different countries, two or more countries. That countries are ruled by different political parties. Next one is different currencies. In international trade, two or more countries are following the different currencies. So we have to check the currency value every day in international trade. Next feature of international trade is different national policies. In international trade, different national policies are followed by different countries. We have to follow the different national policies. Example, tax policies, tariff policies, export-import procedures, export-import documentation, etc. Next one is differences in environment. Every business has a different business environment. In international trade also a different market environment. Market environment, political environment, natural environment, legal environment also varies from country to country. These are all the features of international trade. Next topic is advantages of international trade. Every trade has own advantages. International trade also has various advantages. First advantage is improves economic development. International trade improves the economic development of underdeveloped countries and developing countries because production is more in case of international trade. If production is increased means the employment opportunities also increased. Employment opportunities increased means it will lead to the income generation. Next step is growth in the economic development. Next one is increased access to goods. In international trade, variety of goods available to the customers. If any goods unavailable in the domestic market means the government may import the goods from the government, or traders may import the goods from other countries. Next advantage of international trade is efficient allocation of resources. Efficient allocation of resources is possible in case of international trade compared to the domestic trade, that is home trade. Underdeveloped and developing countries efficiently utilize their resources. Next advantage of international trade is better usage of natural resources. Underdeveloped countries has various a lot of natural resources, raw materials. The underdeveloped countries export their raw materials into the developed countries and import the finished goods from the developed countries. Next advantage of international trade is benefits from economies of scale. In the domestic trade, only the smaller number of units only produced, but in case of international trade, we may enjoy the benefit of large scale economies. The production is more in case of international trade. If the production is increased means it will lead to reduction in the production cost. Next one is revenue from surplus production. In international trade, international traders are enjoying the economies of large scale production. Large scale production leads to reduction in the production cost. Further, it increases the surplus from the business units. Next one is specialization. In the international trade, the traders are producing the particular product. If we produce the particular product means this will give specialization to the particular industry. They got various knowledge about production, technology, innovation in the particular product. Next advantage of international trade is improved competitiveness. In case of domestic trade, we have to face only the less number of competition. But in case of international trade, more competitors are available in the international market. In order to compete the international competition, we have to produce the quality price with cheaper prices. Next advantage of international trade is increased employment. The economies of large scale production increases the employment opportunities. This is one of the advantage of international trade. Next advantage of international trade is higher national income. If the in case of international trade, the production is high compared to the domestic trade. If the production is increased means the employment opportunities are also increased, income also increased. Further, it will lead to the economic development of our country. Next advantage of international trade is foreign investment. Under international trade, various countries investing their investment into developing countries. We can get the fund from foreign countries. It will increase the inflow of funds. Next advantage of international trade is international cooperation. International trade develops the friendship among the countries. Next one is improved technology and innovation. International trade encourages the competition. In order to compete with the competitors, we have to produce the innovative and new product with new technology. Further, international trade encourages the innovation and newer technology. These are all the advantages of international trade. Some disadvantages are also there in the international trade. What are all the disadvantages in the international trade? First disadvantage is exhaustion of natural resources. What is exhaustion of natural resources? Underdeveloped countries export the raw materials to the developed countries. It will reduce the natural resources of underdeveloped countries. Second disadvantage of international trade is loss to agricultural producers. Agricultural products are less elastic in demand. Even though there is a reduction in the prices, there is no change in the demand. It will affect the agricultural products and agricultural producers. Next disadvantage of international trade is imbalanced development. Only the developed countries developed in the international trade activities, but there is no development in underdeveloped and developing countries. Next disadvantage of international trade is rivalry among countries. Compared to domestic trade, more competition is available in international trade. This will lead to misunderstanding among the countries because of competition. Next one is negative effect of specialization. Specialization is one of the advantage of international trade, but this specialization adversely affect the underdeveloped countries and developing countries. How it adversely affects the international underdeveloped countries means the underdeveloped countries only concentrate on the specialized products, not give concentration to the other products. It adversely affect the underdeveloped and developing countries. Next one is overcapacity. In order to compete with the competitors, most of the international traders are producing the more units of output. In case any less in demand means, this will adversely affect the producers, those who are involved in the international trade. Next one is no benefit to developing countries. International trade only encourages the developed countries. It does not give encouragement to the developed and underdeveloped and developing countries. Next disadvantage of international trade is dependence. Most of the developing and developed countries are depends upon developed countries for the particular product in case of international trade. This will adversely affect the underdeveloped and developing countries. Next one is import of harmful products. Underdeveloped countries and developing countries import the harmful and chemical products in their local market. This will affect the health of the general public. Next disadvantage of international trade is spread of economic evils. One country's economy is affecting the another country's economy because most of the countries are interconnected with the other countries in international trade. Next disadvantage is price increases. Sometimes the prices of the local products will increase because of international trade. Next disadvantage of international trade is balance of payment problems. Developing countries import more product from the developed countries and export less amount of quantities to the developed countries. It will adversely affect the balance of payment. The final result is a deficit in the balance of payment position. These are all the disadvantages of international trade. Next topic is complexities. What are all the difficulties involved in the international trade? First difficulty is intense competition. In international trade, more countries are involved in the international trade. So, more competition is available in international trade compared to the domestic trade. Next one is impact of global factors. One country's global factors adversely affect the other country's global factors. Next complexities is sudden changes. Compared to the domestic trade, sudden changes are available in the international trade. Next one is shorter product life cycle. New products are developed in the international trade. So, the old product has shorter life cycle. Next one is high investment in research and development. In order to produce a new product, most of the countries spending their amount in research and development. Next one is creativity and innovation. In order to introduce new product, most of the developed and underdeveloped developing countries are utilizing their funds in the creativity and innovation related expenses. Next one is new product development. Next complexity is new product development. Consumers are preferring the new products and novel products with cheaper rate. So, in order to produce the new product, innovation is necessary for the international traders. Next one is focus on continuous quality improvement. Next complexity is focus on the continuous quality improvement. In order to give new product to the consumers with good quality, they only concentrate on the quality with cheaper rate. Next complexity is need to improve efficiencies. Competition is more in case of international trade. So, in order to compete with the competitors, efficiency is essential for international traders. Next one is currency fluctuations. Every day a currency relating to various countries are fluctuating. In order to focus on international trade, we should concentrate on the currency fluctuations. Next complexity is cultural differences. In international trade, various cultures are followed by the different countries. So, the international traders must give focus to the cultures of different countries and their sentiments. Next one is managing multi-country workforce. In the multinational companies, various countries' employees are working in multinational corporations. So, the managers should concentrate on the various cultures relating to the employees. Next one is protection of intellectual property. In international trade, the traders should give importance to the intellectual properties like patent and copyright. Next complexities of international traders, ethical functioning. The consumers only purchase the products of industries with ethical functioning units. Next one is choice of entry mode. In the international market, we have to choose the different entry modes. These are all the complexities in international trade. Even though there is various complexities in international trade, the advantages are also more. So, we have to concentrate on the international trade. Our government also takes steps to improve the international trade. Thank you.